I'm going to deck you. Did you see that? Well, I'll come back to it. This deck I'm about to talk about is a red and blue deck. Is called Cheese. And it had another name, but it's been called Cheese for so long, I cannot remember the other name. I can't remember it. I couldn't remember it years ago. It's called Cheese by my friend Matt Hall, who really did not like me playing this deck. He liked it about as much as he liked Slivers. Okay, so I was at work, and another friend of mine used to be a Magic judge. He had a friend named, I think, Andy Fleck. And supposedly, as the story goes, Andy Fleck bought a whole card, like a poster, uncut, of Prodigal Wizards, to cut them and to make a deck out of them, because at the time, that card was one of his favorite cards. It cost 1 blue, 2, and it tapped to do a damage to a creature or player. He wanted a whole deck of that. And I was like, hearing the story and thinking, I think you can just do that now, legally. Like, I think there's enough that you can just do that. So I did that. And one of the best cards was this one, a red and blue, so it's 1 cheaper, and it does exactly the same thing. 1/1 does 1 damage to creature or player. The Merfolk, the Razorfen Hunter Merfolk Goblin. So I just packed the deck with... The one reason I'm talking about this deck right now is because I just sold both the Mox Diamonds that I actually had in this deck, and they are instead now like Cold Steel Hearts and another one I'm gonna Paradise Mantle, which is like an artifact that turns your creature into a bird of paradise. Can make any mana for tapping. I used those cards for other reasons, because you have things like the here's the Paradise Mantle. Costs nothing to put it in play, and it just costs 1 to attach it. To me, completely worth it to make any type of mana I want. You attach it to stuff like the Goblin Medics. When Goblin Medics tap, they can do a pinging damage. So that would be like if they were attacking, they could do it. But if you have an artifact that allows them to tap, or any other reason that allows them to tap, they can do the give me the mana I need and do a damage at the same time, which is quite useful. Or you can attach this, which allows them to do a 1 damage to a player and draw a card at exactly the same time. So you're doing 2 damage and drawing a card. I actually used to have this painting. I sold that too. Sadly, this deck is becoming sold. I don't think I'm going to sell the rest of it though. You have cards like this, Fractured Loyalty. Attaching this to a creature, you ping it, and that creature is yours. The only reason it would come back to them is if they were able to affect it in some way. So, as I've said many times, every deck should have a plot, pingers, and a plot twist. The plot twist moves along pretty well because I have another enchantment I have in this is the Lavamancer's skill, which does 1 damage to target creature, or if it's a wizard, 2 damage to target creature. So I really packed this with wizards which are either pingers already or have really awesome abilities, like the Fate Spinner to screw up the game completely. I love this card. Basically, she says there's either no draw step, there's either no main phase, or there's no combat phase. You choose. So another wizard is the Skirk Alarmist. So she comes out with haste, which is pretty sweet already. So on turn 2, there's a possibility she might even get a damage in, but she can also morph without paying its cost, a morph creature. If you're not familiar with morph, they come in as 2/2s tapped. You pay 3. They all do that, but then you pay their morph cost, and they become a plot twist. The Grossen Cloud Scraper. For some reason, this was the best way I found to use it in a deck. A red and blue deck with a 13/13 green beast just made me laugh. When you're able to pull that off, that's really funny. So just attack with it, and then Skirk Alarmist, bring it. There are tons of. You can even do it with. You can suspend the Cloudscaper with her. She's also a wizard, and she comes in for 3, so you can do the Lavamancer skill with her. I have the Glass Spinner. The first time any of my creatures become the target of a spell or ability, counter it. So what's fun about that is, I need to sometimes do things to my creatures, like put enchantments on it. So I can ping my own creature, that ping is countered, and then I can do this if I can do whatever else I need to do. I've definitely had to do that. Stepped on my own toes. One of the best assassin little arrows is put this on a pinger. When they deal the damage to the player, return a creature to the owner's hand. So if you got this on something, if you got your pinger out and they got almost nothing else going on, you got Sigil of Sleep. You leave your guy out. On their turn, they put out a creature. You Sigil of Sleep, attack the player for 1, and that creature is gone. And you just keep doing that over and over and over again. And that's why this is called cheese. But I tried to really pack it with just amazing wizards that are super, super helpful. But this is the original right here. This is a pretty ancient Prodigal Sorcerer. Prodigal Sorcerer, that was his name. Prodigal Sorcerer deals 1 damage to target creature and player. Very, very exciting. So that would have been fun to actually have played Anti-Flex deck. Probably wouldn't have been fun for very long. He probably would have destroyed anybody with that deck. Oh, the other thing, every land in here, except for a few of the non-basics, are snow, and that's only for this guy, which allows me to bring a target permanent to its owner's hand, which I find very useful against those friggin' those guys that aren't creatures, and they mess with you. What is it called? That's how old I am. I can't remember. Jace, that Jace guy. Get rid of him. This is how you use this guy. Leave that man out, and right as they're trying to use, they pay 10 because they're so amazing. Then you bring them right back to their hand.